Mike McCool here. I'm in the Royal Examiner studio, and again, it's time to talk to Robbie Seal and Jeff Holzbauer. Holzbauer.
Holzbauer.
Holzbauer. He's missing a letter there. You
Well,
know,
a lot of people look at Holzbauer with a T, but it's
That's
not.
right. That's right. That's where I'm normally.
Yeah.
So we'll get it. We know it's Jeff. You know.
There you go.
And it's time for them to come back into the studio every month, and they're kind of bringing us up to date of what's going on in Warren County, things that are happening. Not always with the sheriff's department, but good things that are happening. And Jeff's got a couple of things he wants to talk to about, some fugitives we need the public's help on.
Absolutely.
And Robbie, let's start with you, though, and tell us some good stuff.
Oh, yeah. Well, of course, this is going to be actually the Capt Holzbauer and Mike McCool show, really, for the most part. So just some brief things on my plate as the Sheriff's Department's community guy, so to speak. But we actually mentioned last time our Community Advisory Council.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've established that. We had probably, not probably, exactly, 27 people that inquired about it. We had 14 applications submitted, and we actually had our orientation meeting last month, so it was very well attended.
So you selected people.
Yes, actually, and we still have background investigations as part of the process to conduct. But for the most part, we wanted to establish that orientation meeting to get everybody there that could make it, and it was very productive. Major Driscoll, provided a PowerPoint of what we explained with the new program or new council, so to speak. So we're actually having an upcoming meeting on the 27th of this month, our second meeting, and we still have people. So out there in our community, if any of you are still or considering joining our Community Advisory Council, we would love to have you. Just submit an application, and you could do so to my attention, Lieutenant Robbie Seal at the Warren County Sheriff's Office. And of course, our number is 540-635-4128. So I'd love to hear from you if you're interested.
And this council will be evolving members, rotating members through, so they're not going to be on there forever.
Yes, we pretty much have a time frame. Officer-wise, we'll have a chairman, vice chair, and a secretary, but it's like a 2-year rotation.
Right. So go ahead and apply because if
Exactly.
you're interested, and find out more about it. So.
Exactly. It's a rewarding. It's a rewarding program the sheriff obviously had implemented, and we're looking for good things. And the good things really is our citizens, our community's involvement in interacting with the sheriff's office and providing us with guidance as far as what the community thinks of law enforcement and means of what law enforcement is doing out there, or not doing out there, and that could be brought to the table and help all of us provide a better service for our community.
Well, at the last or the morning or a couple of board of supervisor meetings, Tim Radigan got up and showed you the program that he's doing. We provided him with a lot of these signs of trying to get community support for the or showing their support
Right.
for the police and the sheriff. And that's a good thing.
Well, it is, and I talked to Tim actually on that event that day, and unbeknownst that he was involved with that, and it was a very nice conversation with Tim, and he definitely has the passion.
He does. He does. He thinks that we're really doing a disservice when we don't support the police and the sheriff. I think that
Well, I tell you what, I mean, you mentioned the word support. That's something that I know as long as I've been doing this. This community is so supportive of law enforcement across the board. Not only the Sheriff's Office, but Front Row Police Department, State Police. We do have a tremendous amount of support in this community for our law enforcement. And personally, I can't speak high enough what that means.
it is. So when you compare it, you're watching the national news, and you're looking at these cities, Portland and Chicago and San Francisco, all these different things, and you're saying, how in the world can the public? I mean, that doesn't happen in Front Royal, Warren County. I mean, my gosh, it just seems like they're in another country somewhere. I mean, it just seems unreal that people want to defund the police. Who are you going to call? Who are you going to call? Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
Well, it's ironic. I think obviously close-knit, smaller rural communities have a lot to do with the closeness with law enforcement and community. I say with the 35 years plus that I've been doing it, I was dealing with third generation within the family. So the families get to know. I always said, become a law enforcement officer to develop that, I guess, that trust with the public. It really takes 5, 7, 8 years to even longer for people to really really know you as an individual and how you do your work, and to the point that they're very comfortable with you. And I always say, and I've heard the stories, when people tell me they're sitting down at the dinner table and they're talking about a certain officer and how they did their job based on the interaction with a family member, the basis of why the conversation took place, it's very satisfying and rewarding to know that there is conversation that takes place within the walls of a home, and it's positive.
Right.
So.
Well, and I hear that the police, and I say that meaning sheriffs as well.
Right.
Really, it's hard to do your job without the support of the community. I mean, you rely on the citizens to really be your eyes and ears in our community.
Well, that's really, in my eyes, that's what police work's all about. We need those eyes and ears.
Yeah. And we have this attitude, well, the police are going to take care of it.
Yeah.
Well, no, the police will take care of it when you help them.
Yeah. So, going back, obviously, for what we're talking about, just points to the program, the Community Advisory Council we have.
Sure.
But other than that, we actually had our Fun Day event, which we were looking so much to Monday, but our weatherman threw us a curveball. Really did. He's a heck of a baseball player, but here we thought we were going to have all these thunderstorms, so we actually canceled, early in the morning. And of course, it didn't rain till like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So, but we're looking to reschedule that.
Okay.
Deputy Cindy Burke and I are looking to hopefully next week.
And we'll be working on that National Night Out.
Yeah, actually, I sit on the committee. Janice Hart sits on the Front Royal Police Foundation, and they're heading up. The foundation's heading up the police department's National Night Out. So, being I've had experience in that, Janice asked if I could just kind of sit on the as a representative of the sheriff's office to sit on that council. I said, my goodness, that's the least I could do. So.
Well, Janice says she's moving.
Yes, she is.
And that's going to. I told her. I said we're going to miss you. She said, well, not everybody's going to miss me.
Well, I tell you what, I can't see Front Royal without a Janice Hart.
I know. She's got a heart.
She has a heart. Yes, no pun intended, Janice, but you have a tremendous heart. And
she's a hard worker.
I know personally, and I know a lot of people are going to miss her. She's a very vibrant, energetic lady that has done so much for the community.
Well, she's passionate about
she is.
Championing our town and our police effort that we have, and that's important.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we got to find another one.
Yeah. Oh boy, good luck. Good luck. I know they're out there, but good luck. So that's Fun Day. Hopefully we'll have that. Actually, something that really is evolving. I guess with the COVID-19, I'm getting quite a few calls from citizens in the community wishing to donate, and however means I know we get supplies of food that come into the sheriff's office, and that's just tremendously great, and sometimes it's too great, when it comes to the waistline. But for the most part, a lot of people are wondering what they can do for their local law enforcement. I get calls, really, for the most part, pretty frequently on donations, and of course, Sheriff's Office has programs that really we fundraise that we need community support on. Our which was the Fun Day event was a runoff on the Sheriff's annual summer youth camp. That's a fundraising effort every year. DARE is a fundraising effort every year. Even our Front Royal Warren County Senior Triad, which is a triad of council that looks after our seniors in the community that I actually chair. We're always looking for donations there as well. So that, and of course our canine program. We have a great, a canine program now that really we have to fundraise somewhat for everything that we need for our canines, our handlers, and the training of the animals. Costs that are limited based on the budget, the sheriff's office budget. So if there's anyone out there that wants answers, that are looking to donate, whether it's to the sheriff's office or Front Royal Police Department, call your local law enforcement agency. You can do so. Ask for me again, Lieutenant Robbie Seal at the sheriff's office at 540-635-4128, and I'll be happy to explain our programs. And what
you'll put them in touch with the right people.
Oh yes, right in touch with the right people. So other than that, I'm going to throw the ball to our
Jeff,
captain. On this one,
he outranks you.
We actually had he does outrank me, very much so. And we're actually it's ongoing as we speak. We're having a crisis incident training right now, and it's actually being held at Christendom College. 3 days. It started yesterday and runs through Friday. But it's a unbelievable training, scenario based, involving not only ourselves, the sheriff's office, but the Front Row Police Department, as well as fire and rescue, and it's been a real good training session so far.
Well, I'm going to throw something out at you before we go and talk to Jeff.
Right.
And I never discussed this with you, but I had a conversation earlier this morning with someone, and we were talking about the governor's mask police and the hotline that they've set up. And I'm just curious how the sheriff's office is involved in. It's supposed to be enforced by the health department, but I'm
Right.
just curious. We have snitches. I'll use that in quotes. So I'm going to throw that out at you just so that this will be, something you're not prepared for.
So yeah, there's a hotline, and you're wondering. Obviously, we're going to be enforcing the mask protocol. I haven't heard that come down the channel from my captain or the sheriff.
We're going to blame it on Jeff.
So I would bypass that because I don't know anything about it other than the fact that what you just said. I heard the same thing. So. But there's nothing that's come across my table or my desk about.
Someone was telling me they were at a local restaurant and the sheriff or the police was outside of it and because of somebody wearing a mask. And I said it wasn't to enforce the mask thing. It was about the incident that happened because of it,
right.
Either disturbance or trespassing or something else. I said they're not there to enforce mask laws or edicts. They were there because of the confrontation that two people got together on.
And you're exactly right. We're not going to get involved in saying where's the 6 foot mark? Is there more than 10 people here?
Right.
Is your mask on? We're going to be there when it becomes a safety issue, when somebody needs us. We are going to stay away from getting involved in those games. Everybody just needs to remember. I've said it time and time again, take a big breath, relax, and if you're in public, protect yourself and protect the people around you. We don't have to make this a big deal. It's very simple. If you're going to be in public, put the mask on. When you go in and sit down, you can take it off. Be respectful of the people around you. For right now, this is what we're being told to do by the folks that are supposed to be educated, and so let's take their advice and move forward.
That's why I was trying to explain to him. I said, police weren't there being the enforcers of things like that. So
we get called after the fact.
Yeah. Well, but it's too late. All right, Jeff, we beat that horse. So let's go and can't talk about that. Can't talk about beating horses. The PETA people will be all over. So
I was going to say I haven't been no part of beating no horses. None at all.
So you have a couple things you want to talk about. It is funny.
It is.
So. Let's go with who you're looking for.
Well, all right,
or do you want to start with something else?
No, let's start right there. We have a fellow by the name of Robert T. Henry. He has some papers out for him here, local papers. We've made it pretty public knowledge that he's wanted. There's some people that want to talk with him, need to do some paperwork with him. Mm-hmm. We will give you his pictures to put up.
Sure.
He hadn't come to court, and the judge wants to speak with him. So we've got papers.
Somebody's
for him.
hiding him somewhere. Then he must not want to be found.
Let's hope. Let's hope it's just something simple and we can get it taken care of. I also have a Henry H. Edwards III. The courts want to talk to him too. He knows what his papers are for. He's avoided there for a while. He's not taking care of his business with his child support, so we're looking for him also. We'll get his information, stick it up.
Somebody knows where he is.
Oh, so everybody knows where somebody
is.
Yeah. That's back part of working with the community. If there's a good relationship there and somebody sees something and says something, it betters everybody. It betters everything. So.
Prime example of the eyes and ears
there
that
you
we
go.
look forward to. Absolutely.
Yep. So anyway, those are those two. I guess moving forward from that horse,
which we won't beat.
We won't beat it.
Horse.
No. I want to touch on the fact that prior to Mark coming into office, he campaigned on cleaning our county up, getting rid of some of the drug issues and paying attention to it. And boy, has he been about business. We have really moved forward. Just as Mr. Seal said, we have built up a very big. I don't want to say big. We have built up a nice size team of dogs that are about business, and to walk forward in that progression of trying to clean the county up. So that has been a big thing. In saying that we're trying to move forward in Mark's vision on cleaning the county up, we have had to make some steps to change things around. It's very obvious if you look at numbers. What's called an epidemic for one person is not an epidemic in another. But if you just look at the overdoses that we have and the deaths that we have, I'm going to tell you the epidemic is with our drugs. Mm-hmm. So very dedicated in moving that whole mess forward to clean our community up. We are making big strides to do that. And what we're doing is we're looking at what's gone on in the past and where we're at right now. And sometimes you have to make a change to make things better. So we're seeing what we're doing isn't working quite the best. Not saying we're going to completely change, but
Mm-hmm.
we're going to do some things a little different and see if what falls out of the bag can land a little different than what we've had in the past. So that is big on the list. So just know if you're here in the county and you're doing things that are not a flavor of the community we live in and would like to have, you're probably going to end up with some issues. We're looking. So
You got your
eyes on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Paying attention. So
I know you've had quite a few unreported drug task force things going on in the county. I know I've got the message. Please don't print our picture.
well, I tell you, we have.
You've coordinated these with other forces outside of the county.
We have, and listen, we have formed our own spade team, and
And SPADE stands for what?
trouble. So
It's actually Special Projects and Drug Enforcement.
There you go.
go.
See,
Yeah.
yeah,
Robbie knows that.
yeah, it's trouble. It's trouble.
I like trouble better.
I'm
Because these-
just going to put it out there. You're gonna be dealing with some
If
folks
they
that
have
are
to
on
get
their
involved,
game.
you're in big trouble.
Well, and it's a good thing because we're cleaning the county up. The people that want to move freely and not have to worry about what's going on in their home from the drug problem that's here, we need them. So
You've heard things that's going on in the country because of people being cooped up and quarantined and isolated. That drug problems have gone up.
yeah, they have. And listen, this is something that just didn't start yesterday or the day before. This is something that's been going on for years and years.
Mm-hmm.
We just need to get a hand on it and
Yeah.
get it squared away. So, and that's what the sheriff is about. That's what he's moving forward on. I will go back to this again once we've stepped away from it, but in all of that's going on at the sheriff's office, we have come in way under budget. I think we're probably one of the few departments that can stand back and take a big breath and know that we've done as best we can. And half this budget wasn't ours, and half of it was. And when I say way under budget, I can tell you that's tremendous, and that comes from a few things. Mark is very frugal with money. He's not going to spend money if it's not needed, and if there's a cheaper way to do things or more cost-effective way to do things and you get the same end result, you can bet that's what you're going to be doing. So that and then we have a major that is on top of writing grants. He's written, I know, right about $1.5 million worth of grants, and to date, I think we're right about $700,000 of money's coming in to offset. So that's where that money coming under budget is coming about. So there's good things that are going on. and the reality is every dollar that comes in is a relief off of somebody paying taxes. It can be used somewhere else, or it can move our department further forward.
I noticed that Mark is really heavy in the training
Very much. Matter of fact,
and his accreditation he's working on.
Yeah.
that is a big daunting task. That's the other reason we have our community advisory board, is because we're going through those policies and procedures, and some of those are going to be put in front of the public to get their input so that they can see what we're doing and how we're thinking and what we're thinking, and then put the legal side on it. And when you do those things and people get a full view of what's going on, they're like, it makes a whole lot more sense. And when you have those 27 people speaking in public, hey, I sat in the meeting, this is what it was about, this is why they're doing it. It's not everybody from law enforcement saying there's
Exactly.
a good working understanding of what's going on. So that is, to me, that is one of the biggest things going on, is that we're dealing with the public and getting them to understand, hey, when we come out, this is what we're about. Or this is what's going on. And there's a few other things that are going on that aren't quite in the works, but they're in the works. They just haven't set dates for them,
Right.
where the community can come and see what we're doing, and they can know what our expectations are and what things are when we do come out, or when they're called out, or whatever. You know, people have an idea of what's being looked for and what. So that's a good thing too. Back to the training side of things. Matter of fact, the training that's going on yesterday, today, and today is active shooter training, and it's pretty real. We're back at the college, and thank those people so much for having us back
absolutely.
there, to go out of their way to lend their facility to us, because when you put somebody in a position and they've got to make decisions, and you're hearing gunfire go off, I'm telling you, it opens your eyes up, and it puts everybody through their paces, so that when things do happen, all the departments around have a good feel for what the other department's going to do and where we're going to move forward with things.
You're all
So,
on the same play.
Well, absolutely. We're playing the same playing field, so
yeah,
you know.
and it involves fire and rescue. You know, a big part of saving lives is saving lives. If there's a big issue, you can't. The law enforcement can go and put a stop to what's going on, but we've got to be with fire and rescue. They're right there with us. It's not a we thing. It's a us thing.
It's us thing.
Yeah, right. We all have to work together
Yeah.
to build the safety of the community. So thank you to the college for having us out there. Thank you
Absolutely.
for everything you're doing for us.
Been very gracious. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's one of those things it's like a fireman. You're training for things that you hope never happen.
That's
That's-
exactly right. You know, I stood over there. I'll tell you, I am a praying man. I stood over there the other day while everybody was gathering up, and I thank the Lord that we were able to have that training. But please don't ever make us use
Right,
it.
right.
You know,
Exactly.
don't ever. Please put a cover over this whole community where this is not an issue. So anyway.
And this is training that across the board, everybody, as far as the leads, from all three agencies, stated that this is training that was well long overdue. So
Yeah.
we're glad we're doing it.
Training's important. You brought up something when you were talking there about keeping the public informed, and we call that transparency. Think about 50 years ago or 60 years ago in Front Royal. I can remember talking to some police officers that were on the police force a long time, 60s. They had the beat and release program where they'd take the blackjack, knock you upside the head, and send you on home, kind of like
Now-
judge and jury. But
now
those
let's-
days are gone. And we live in this 24-hour news cycle that everybody in television, that we think things are going to happen. We want to know every little thing that's going on, and we talk about the cameras that the police officers wear now, which probably I know that initially police officers kind of were resistant to it, but now they realize that how well it protects them and the public.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
So it's just like before, people didn't care. As long as they didn't affect them, they didn't care. And now public is coming around and they want to know what's going on. I think we're being maybe too involved, but we are being involved in our government, the town government, county government, police. We want to know we want to know what's going on.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with any of that. I can tell you though, with our department, I don't have one person in that department that worries me. If I did, they wouldn't be there. And I know Mark would stand behind that. We have a lot of good individuals that make good, sound
Absolutely.
decisions. And here's the thing: they're members of this community, and they're here for what's the best. Nobody gets into law enforcement for any other reason than to make things good. So
That's who you want.
that's right.
And you have a tendency through the process of hiring that there's a classification of the personalities that do the best officers. How about going selecting? I noticed you've selected some new officers here lately.
We have. I'll tell you, we've.
What kind of process do you go through?
It's a lengthy process. I know there's been people that have said, "Oh, it's this willy nilly."
Good old boy.
Yeah, right. I'm here to tell you that's
Good old boy don't make it, does it?
no. You
In the old days, the sheriff's uncle and nephew and brother-in-law all work for the sheriff, but you don't see that anymore.
No, I think we've gotten rid of most of them. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they're not there. What I will tell you is that it is a process. It's not a handshake and a badge and a gun. We do go through a fairly lengthy background process. The decisions are made off of the qualifications of the person, not off of friends or good old boys or somebody just in the need of a job to fill a position. We have positions that are open that are not being filled because there's not the right person there yet.
You're better off with no one than you are with just a warm body.
You've got it. So, and every day that those positions go that are open, it helps the budget. People think, oh well, you're spending money, and what they don't realize is we have several positions that are top end positions that are saving big money, and we're trying to do the best we can with what we have. But I can tell you, the sheriff is about saving money and making good decisions. But those people that have been hired have gone through a very rigorous background. We are working to try and looking into trying to get our own polygraph program.
That'd be good, yeah.
And years and years of experience will tell you that anything that goes on and you can use a polygraph with, it's very beneficial.
Well, that you have it's not admissible in court. That's okay. It's great for the investigative stage, isn't it?
That's exactly right.
You hook people up to a polygraph, it changes.
Not only from the criminal aspect, but the civil aspect too, but like the hire process.
That's right.
Sure.
I had to go through one.
Just
I've
the
been through
psychology,
several of them.
just
Yeah.
the psychology of being connected to it, and
Yeah.
Right.
and we have that in our brain that we
Yeah.
know that I cannot tell a lie.
Right.
The machine's going to know, and
Yeah.
there are people that can beat them, quote unquote, beat them, but that's far and few between. And a good operator can.
I can tell you, you're gonna make reactions when your mind works. Your body makes it move itself around, and everybody has tells to them. So being able to read those tells makes a very good police officer, investigator. But when you have a machine that can give you those tells right
It's
away,
an aid. It's an aid.
That's right. I can tell you, there's everybody from the state police down to other sheriff's departments will not hire without them. So it is a good thing. So we're moving forward with that.
But it's hard to find the right person, and I know you see on social media people complain, oh, they hired this person, that person, why they hire that person, these people no good. Well, you have total force is terrible, and we know that's not true.
That's right. You're going to have the select 2, 3, 4. That doesn't matter what you do. You can have ice creams and brownies, and they're going to want cake and cookies. So it doesn't matter what you do. You're not going to satisfy a few people. But for the vast majority of our county, I think if they would take our invitation to our open door and come and spend some time with us, they're going to see we're being good stewards of their money. And
protecting and serving.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Well, we appreciate everything you do. Anything else you have in that folder you want to talk about?
I was just trying to figure out who's going to buy lunch today.
Yeah, you're like we've never missed a
11 o'clock,
meal.
Still a
Huh?
little early for me, but
Well, the sheriff doesn't allow you to go out to restaurants and congregate anymore.
Well, I got to tell you, that wasn't the sheriff. He wasn't too happy that I did that. That was me doing that.
okay.
I carried on and said, look, no more than 2 units at a restaurant at one time. Spread out a little bit. I have caught a few of them piled up and said, hey, what are you doing
That's
here?
right, man.
But
well, see that was my motto when I was at the police department. As a sergeant, I wouldn't let no more than 2 cruisers be seen at the convenience store. I mean,
Spread the wealth. I wanted to say something.
It's a perception thing with
Perception.
our public. Yes.
Perception is reality.
Yes. Yes.
I wanted to bring up, you talk about people donating and bringing things. And I talked to Mr. Keller, Blaine Keller. He says, I just dropped some donuts off at the sheriff's office. And,
Blaine. I love Blaine.
He's a great supporter
He
of our.
is a tremendous supporter. Tremendous supporter.
He's got the signs down there at his office.
Yeah. Blaine, you have to change the menu a little bit.
Well,
We
Blaine's
love
never-
the donuts, but you gotta change the menu a little
We
bit.
have breakfast with Blaine several times a week, and
But he's a super guy.
He's got a heart as big as gold.
Oh my
man, so-
goodness! Absolutely.
He's never missed a meal either. He's like me, you know.
It's a weekly thing with Blaine, so
Yeah.
he's a tremendous supporter. Tremendous.
He loves the Lord and he loves the police department. And the sheriff's department.
He does.
He tries to. He's very supportive. So we need more people like that.
And we have.
But he'll be the first to criticize you too. So
Well, and that's what we need. That's exactly what we need. That's what we want.
But,
we want people to keep us where we need to be, to provide us with the guidance, to provide, the best service we can for them. So that criticism is very important.
we appreciate that.
I'm not a total yes man. I want to hear people that have diversity and the way they think and their idealism of what they really want. So it helps.
It makes us our hometown. It makes us it's that spark that's missing in a lot of communities when you don't have that.
Well, and that's back to Blaine. I don't want to say too much here.
We don't want a whole bunch of donuts taken to the sheriff's office.
But I'm here to tell you that man is salt of the earth. But that's not something that is born into somebody. That is something that he's gathered over years and years of experience with life.
Right.
Good man, and the more people are like that, the better our community's going to be.
Right. Yeah, right.
The better our world's going to be. So, when you have men like that that are leaders and salt of the earth, you've got something. And when they say, hey, look, would you look at this like this? You better pay attention, because he's got years and years of experience with life, and he's a grounded man.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I always think when it's the old saying, what kind of community would this community be if everyone in it was just like me? And we think we need to ask these questions of, what kind of state, what kind of country, what kind of family.
That's right.
And so think about that and look inward. And are we putting our best foot forward?
I agree.
That's exactly right.
Get away from that anonymity of the keyboard online and complaining about everything. There's always good in everything. Even the bad has some good in it. So
That's exactly
I agree.
right.
well, we appreciate everything you guys do, and I thank you for coming in each month and bringing us up to date on what's happening at the sheriff's department and around our community, and all the things you do to keep us safe. I really appreciate that.
Well, Mike, we appreciate you again.
You're welcome to come
provide
anytime.
this venue, and we'll be back next time.
Next month,
Yeah.
same time, same place.
There we go.
All right.
We appreciate that. Thanks again.